So the first thing you want to do once you find a beautiful spot like this is build a fire. Why? Because the last thing you want around your campsite are a bunch of bugs. I know that from personal experience, and from, as you can see, if you look around closely, you'll see all the bugs flying around. Alright guys, so although I did say this before, or if I haven't said it, I'm going to say it now. Just because it's cheap does not mean it's a good idea. Dollar store, 2 for 1, maple style beans. Baron. That's an honest mistake. I should have never done this. This was not a good idea. This was a horrible idea. These beans are the bane of existence. Although they do make an okay stew with hot dog, other than that, they're disgusting and they need to be burned. Not even burned, they're not worthy of the fire. These are worthy of being thrown into a raccoon's mouth and just swallowed whole. These things, these cans, these are not cans. These are the bane of existence. Is not necessarily having the best shelter. What you need are the bare essentials. Like this clearing right here, were great for its purpose. And that purpose is because it's right by the fire and we're able to tie a rope right across and build a basic A-frame shelter. So, one of the knots you want to tie is called a clove hitch. Pretty much involves you wrapping it around, taking the one side that you're not using in your offhand, putting it across, wrapping it around again, and then tucking underneath, pulling right through. Isn't the prettiest one, but does the job. It's the beginning of most lashing and other essential tools, tying methods that you're going to be using throughout this experiment. That's good. Alright, so this is going to be Din Din with the boys. Din and I have decided that canned goods from the dollar store was a good idea. But neither of us decided to bring a can opener. So this is how we open up our supper. Knife, axe, plus can. Although not very useful, it is good to know that knives have many different uses, my friends, especially for opening up garden patch sliced beets. Oh, you want to know what supper is? Beets and sardines. Enjoy, they say. Well, Here we go. Scrumptious. Yummy. One thing that is recommended when going out in the wilderness, if you do go hunting and fishing, make sure you have your license. If not, enjoy the lovely thing. Our canned sardines. They're not half bad. Oh, you see, we couldn't get the rest of the beets out of the can, so we decided that the best thing would be to give them back to Mother Earth.
We may observe Nick struggle to cut a tarp.
Cutting it there. I didn't say anything.
We have observed Nick failing to cut a tarp with a Bowie knife.
Alright guys, one thing that is very important when surviving out in the wilderness: bear trapping. Although there are no bears in this area, excuse me, that was the hot dog coming out. Although there are no bears in this area, we still have to bear trap our food, because who knows if a whole herd of deer come by and a horde of raccoons come and eat all of our food. We're going to be the ones sorry for it, and they're going to be raiding our camp. So to prevent that, we have this little rock. And this rock is going to get yeeted onto there. Maybe it'd be better if I backed up a bit. Shout out to the dollar store. Dollar store rope works, guys. Usually you would tie this off at a lower branch. Seeing as there are none, we're just gonna have to make do. With another club hitch. Good job. Oh, the damn rock. Stuck on a twig. There you go. Lovely club hitch. Lovely bear trap. Offered safe for tonight. We're eating good tomorrow night, boys. Alright, kiddos. First things first. When dealing with tools, do not use them as weapons. That is rule numero uno. Rule number two, if this even needs to be a rule. When using a hatchet, always make sure that you are cutting away from yourself. You never cut towards yourself with the axe, because if you glance off, hit the side, it's going right into your kneecap. You're losing your kneecap, and you'll be like me in the hospital. One thing always use two hands. And when you hit, putting your weight into your blow, not away from your blow, because if you go away, it's not going to be as good as if you go right into it. always make sure your weapons are sharp and ready to use. That's all for hatchet safety. For knives. Knives are one of the best tools to have. Keep them sharp. You use them as anything. Spatula, stir rod if you really wanted it to. Use it to poke things. You can also use it to whittle, make other tools, make a spear, make a bow. You can make anything with a knife. You can also double it as a baton, throwing knife. If you ever see that raccoon that comes by and tries to eat your food, just kind of.
Or RJ.
Or RJ. Yeah, we finally found RJ. You know, he was hiding somewhere around here. I think he was in the bush. Don't know why. Explains the smell. So, one rule about knives. Always make your blade, like with the hatchet, sharp and able to cut through anything. Because the moment you have a dull blade, it becomes more dangerous to you than it is useful. Next tool. Axe. You see, axes are a lot of fun. There's many things you can do with an axe, like chop wood, make firewood, make shelter, and overall provide for your family by chopping wood. Because that's one thing we do around these parts. We provide, we protect, and we slurp up that bean stew. So, same rule with hatchet goes for axe, just one differing tool. This thing has a lot more weight to it. So if you do screw up, you're taking your whole limb with you. One thing to keep in mind when using an axe, it is not like a hatchet. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. And when hitting, same way you hit with an axe, hatchet. You'll glance it. If you go direct, sure you're gonna cut, but if you glance, you're gonna hit more into the wood. That's the only difference between hatchet and axe. And that's tool safety, kiddos. We're going on a quest now to go burn some heathen. Nothing against being a pagan and all, it's just these symbols are something else. The original language we will never understand, nor do we want to. Of course, Wicca is pretty cool after all. Seeing as we're all seeing as pretty epic.
We're approaching you, Nick.
We're getting close, children. We're about to come face to face with true evil. Watch your face, Adrian. Where's part 2 in session?
Where'd it go?
Where did it go? Huh.
Let's do this way. Oh, it's right there.
Oh, okay. Here we have the infamous House of Paris. Three House of Death. Overall, pretty creepy. Could be the source of things that are trying to steal a beer tonight. I'll get some pictures of it.
I'll get these books anytime.
Look at this. This was not written by us. This was written by demons. And like all demons, they need to burn.
Impossible.
This is how it's done, children. Man. Uh-oh. As you can see, bug spray also doubles as a flamethrower. If you don't burn off your hand.
Ew. I feel like this is arson.
Mildly. Let me take care of this.
Bug scared me.
This is done.
Watch out.
Always recycle,
Never litter,
kids.
guys. Always recycle. Oh, would you look at that? A surprise. An entire roll of film. Well, one thing we can do with this, guys. Dane, don't kill us. Yeah, this is fine. Here, RJ, I have a nice little finger for you.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you called? Alright, let's go back.
Hold on, I want to knock this down.
This has been Nick's journey. I hope it doesn't fucking fall on me.
Oops.
Such a cheat.
Alright, so we're gonna be going on a little nature hike, doing some plant identification and some cool, neat stuff. Let's go.
Obviously, Nicholas is a pro tracker.
Alright, guys. Actually, I have a pro tracker. I once tracked a guy for 2 miles while he was trying to run away from me. I know,
Sick.
that sounds worse than okay. Alright, so this stuff right here, it's called sphagnum moss. It grows on most outcropped rocks and trees. It can also be used as a water filter or a dressing for your wounds because it contains iodine inside the plant itself. So you just kind of like put it like that as a wound dressing. Very useful. My survival rating is 7.5 on 10.
Eagles fan.
This isn't obvious. This is a dead tree. As you can see. Dead trees are very abundant in the forest. Very easy to find. You can tell just by looking up. And if you see, well, there's no leaves at the top. It's probably dead. You should be able to just yank it out as so. Important thing about dead trees is a lot of them can be used to ward off mosquitoes. Their smoke is a bright white and is very essential in warding off bugs. This here is the beech tree. Beech trees, very, very good hardwood. Can be used for carving and for boat making to release the ribs of a boat. Also on par with cedar in terms of flexibility. Thank you. One of the great things about the forest is that not many people know this, but it's actually all connected. If you dig a little hole, you should be able to see this little white stuff. This white stuff here that you see is called mycelium. Mycelium is pretty much the roots that connect everything in the forest together, every living thing in terms of plants, not animals. All the plants are connected through this mycelium, and it's how trees communicate to each other, and that's how the trees know if a tree's been chopped down on the other side of the forest. Mycelium. Very underrated, but very epic. Epic style. This here is called slate. Very useful. If you have a blunt object, you can use it to make tools. As so, you can even make an axe blade out of this stuff if you hit it at the right angle. Usually on the inside, you might also be able to even find fossils, as we found one at our campsite before. Very epic. We got right here is the birch tree. Although it's not your typical birch, it's called the silver birch. Silver birch, this one's dead, are almost on par to white birch. White birch oil in white birch bark burns much better than this, although this is still very useful and has the same qualities for the skin being able to be used for canoes and baskets. Sorrel. Edible, delicious, and nutritious. Edible raw and boiled. When eaten raw, tastes exactly like green apple. Have it, Dan. Cutie,
Tastes like green apple.
Dom Eagles fan approved.
We don't discriminate.
I don't know how to use his phone and ended off the video.
This is unfortunate press guide, but Michelle continue
The cameraman just rolled his ankle.
The cameraman's face is to suffer.
Cameraman has a half torn ACL.
Do you know any good walking songs? Walking songs?
Country roads, take me home.
Let me think. I can think of Dixie. I have skirts.
Oh, way down south.
Traders.
Rattlesnakes and
alligators run away. Come away. Right away. I forgot the song.
Rhodesians never die.
Alright, let's hear Rhodesians Never Die. Why don't you just play it? Yo, Harvey, you want to take the phone for a second?
Here's the story of Rhodesia,
Alright,
a land
so-
both fair and great.
Next up we have the wild common fern. The fern is a very useful object. Its fibers, when boiled, can be used to make a nice string. Very useful. Was it? That was an owl.
That was a Dane.
No. Oh, woodpecker. Right there, woodpecker. Right there, my dudes, is a woodpecker. As you can see, it's about to pack some wood.
That's cool.
It's actually pretty cool.
Probably make a good snack.
Probably.
You cannibal.
Am I a bird?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or a
cock.
brain.
Don't say that.
Alright, we continue our hike.
Yeah.
We're still yet to find anything to walk with.
Just hopping the other side. Oh wow. Like the farther down the track we go, the more weird things we'll find. Like burnt logs. Burnt stump.
Burnt logs.
This is interesting. This is what happens when you don't keep your fire in your fire pit, children. It spreads. This is kind of like Minecraft, just that fire spreads is only going. Now this
It's epic.
is someone.
Restart the video and say that we will.
Jeez. There's so much mosquitoes.
Alright, dude, let's explain why. Let's explain why we left.
What?
Alright, so this may come as a surprise, but Danny and I did not stay the night last night. No, it wasn't because we were scared or anything. Actually, it was. We were scared for our lives. You see, if anything threatens your safety while you're outside in the woods, you need to leave. You may think that you're stronger than a raccoon or a whole horde of raccoons.
But
You're
you're
wrong.
not.
These are wild animals. They will fight to survive and they will kill you. You must always make sure your safety is never put on the line when outside in the wilderness. No matter what tools you have, no matter what knowledge you may think you know, you don't know much when it comes to fighting wild animals because they will kill you before you even get to them. Mosquito bite. See, even mosquitoes, they even get to you.
I hate mosquitoes.
And so we left last night, went home, came back today. Although this does not impact the whole idea of the project, this does help hinder. This does not hinder our progress. Thank you for understanding.